The beer bubbles.
Okay, now we're live.
Now we're live.
It's we have to be live now because it's been too long. People haven't seen us for ages.
Since Wednesday. Well, they could see us, but not hear us,
I know.
apparently.
Well, they couldn't hear me. They could hear you.
Now, how do I look right now? So this is a test thing.
You
We're
look
testing
fine.
this. I look fine?
You do look
Weird.
fine at the moment. Yes.
Okay. That's
Famous
odd.
famous last words. It could be horrible.
Right.
You know.
Now, see, I can't see you. So
No.
that's a bit of an issue that we need to overcome. But I can hear you, and that's fine.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak for your computer. I mean, I can see you fine right now. I can see myself fine, but for some reason your computer sucks. How else can you say anything about it? Your computer sucks.
All right. Okay. So, hey, it's your birthday.
It is my birthday.
And since we can't go out for beers together, I figure let's do something virtual.
Miller High Life, a
You're
drink
drinking
for champions.
High Life. Okay, so I mean, this wasn't a pre-planned. Well, it was kind of pre-planned in that we talked
Pre-planned
about
in
it
the
today,
last
but
25 minutes, but other than that,
that's right. But we didn't really have time to sort of like get together and decide on a beer that we would have
no.
together. So we're just got whatever we've got. So Shane's drinking Miller High Life.
That's right.
I am from Spinnaker's Hull and Oats Hazy Oat IPA. If you can see that there, I can't really see the framing. But it's what it is here. So this big creamy oat IPA is like totally balanced by like a radical amount of righteous Simcoe and Azaka hops, dude. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up.
Watch out, boys! She'll chew you up.
Yeah, because of the Hall and Oates song. You know,
No,
this
I get that part. Yeah.
okay.
So I was waiting for you to kind of sing it out.
Oh. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up.
Ah.
Okay. And the label's all sort of like 80s looking. It's got that sort of like Saved by the Bell
It's got
kind
the
of look.
mustaches. Excellent. Mustaches are important.
Mm. All right, so let's.
What a worm that is.
Well, I'll tell you, it's better than the earworm I've had for the past few days.
Oh, what did you have?
From REM, it's the end of the world as we know it.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I haven't heard the song recently. It's just been coming to my mind a lot lately.
God, that is in my head now. I can't go away. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
Okay, so look at that. Like this is probably a little bit of a bad pour,
That's a nice.
but look at that.
That's
That is a beautiful color. Head is a little bit thicker than I would like, but it's hefty. It's got a lot of oomph to it. Mmm. Citrusy on the nose.
I'm kind of.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice.
So I got a bit of a that basically that sip was just pretty much foam. But yeah, it's sort of the citrusy flavors just kind of come through there. Oh yeah, it's like drinking orange juice.
Nice.
This is a nice beer. This is kind of like reminding me of Fresh Squeeze from Deschutes.
Fresh squeeze from the shoots. Okay.
Now, Fresh Squeezed is probably like one of the best kind of like IPAs that you can get. I mean, locally, Fat Tug is kind of our jam, but when we're thinking sort of like more on a global scale, I think most people would go with Fresh Squeeze from Deschutes. That's kind of like the high watermark right there. This, I think, could challenge Deschutes.
Really?
Now, though the fresh squeeze and the fat tug, of course, they're both IPAs, but they're slightly different and everything. And it's like comparing apples and oranges. This is sort of more of the style of the fresh squeezed. Uh, it's really, really tasty. I highly recommend it. Again, it's from Spinnaker's Brew Pub here in Victoria, which is closed, by the way, as
That's
is
so
everything
sad.
else. As is everything else. You can still get their product actually in the store. They're sort of whatever they call it, their little store thing when you walk into the building.
Tasting room?
That's not a tasting room.
No.
It's where they do the growler fills and stuff, and no, I guess that's actually closed too. But they do have like a
Yeah, the
store that's
growlers over
separate.
here are done. They're not doing them at all.
No, no, same over here. There's no growlers, and actually, there's some breweries that are doing home deliveries. This is like the
Really?
thing over here now in the past few days.
Huh.
But anyway, if you can get a hold of this Spinnaker's Holland Oat hazy oat IPA, yeah, it's good stuff.
I gotta say, I am impressed. I kind of want to try
With
it.
your Miller High Life?
Well, anything is better. Well, here's the thing. I have dog urine in a glass. And, I think it's really tasty.
Let's put it this way:
I'd be
you're
like,
not
yeah,
on a
totally,
rest.
I want to try it.
Let's put it this way: you're not on a ventilator, so life is pretty good.
That is very true. I mean, it could be worse. You could be on a ventilator. Actually, I understand today that they blocked the highway to Tofino or to the east or to the west coast of Vancouver Island because apparently they only have like 2 ventilators in the entire area, so they don't want people
To come.
to come and basically poison them with disease.
Well, okay, so I'm not too sure. Um, there was some vigilantes when this all started like a week ago. Some vigilantes went and blocked the highway to
Oh,
prevent
really?
people from coming in. Yes, and the RCMP quickly came and dispersed them and reopened the highway. But then the next day, the mayor of Ucluelet, who is a doctor, uh, made this huge social media thing saying, please stay away from Ucluelet and Tofino. We don't have the capacity to heal you or anything, and we don't want you to bring your disease here. So,
Okay, that might be what I read. I might have read that.
yes. Yeah, so that was from the mayor saying, please stay away.
Model citizen.
I mean, you know what? I can't really fault her for it. I mean, yeah, stay away, stay at home. Jeez, it's not rocket science, people.
Well, I could see a lot of people wanting to go there because they probably feel that it is something they can do in order to avoid everything.
You want to know what you can do to avoid everything? Stay at home. Seriously.
Oh my god, I keep yawning. Holy cow. I am sorry. Wow.
So, Shane, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
What did you get up to today?
Not a whole lot.
Right.
Mainly because it
Because you're supposed to stay at home?
pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
having a birthday during an apocalypse, I gotta say, is you don't necessarily care about what the hell's going on. Mainly because you have other things to worry about potentially. But
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems to be so not important, if that means much. Um,
It's about priorities.
exactly.
You want to make sure that you have a next birthday.
Yes. My next birthday needs to be next year. It would be good if it was, because
It's a novel idea having a birthday next year.
you'd think.
Like a year after this one, just to celebrate the year of this thing passing.
Do you think it's going to
Let
pass sooner or later?
let's hope that this is done by your next birthday.
Yeah, really. How long do you think it's going to go on?
6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you work in that realm of.
And I tell you, the military right now is preparing for a year.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound awesome.
Because what could happen is, I mean, I don't think necessarily this thing that we're going through right now this week is going to last a year,
Right.
but there could be multiple waves. What we're doing, because a lot of people say, well, in China it was done in 2 months. I mean, they're coming out of it now, 2.5 months after it started.
Right.
Yes, that's true, because they didn't put any controls in place. They just let it run rampant. So they infected a lot of people all at once. A lot of people died, and now they're getting out of it. What we're trying to do is we're trying to slow it. We're just slowing the progression of it right down, so that we don't overburden the healthcare system, so that we can treat everybody. So hopefully, very few people die. Um, and But that means it's going to take us longer to get out of it.
True. I mean,
And we could have other waves, right? I mean, we could get through this wave, and then everybody's kind of hunkered in their houses, right? And then they all say, well, screw this, after 6 months I'm going outside. They go outside, they all get sick, so then there's another wave.
so basically, don't go outside ever again.
uh yes, I would buy stock in Netflix. uh,
Okay, I could see that.
but hey, gas prices are like plummeting.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
A week ago 1 week ago, gas here was $1.45.9 per liter. Today, 1 week later, 117.9.
Really?
Really, and it's going to go down more.
I wonder why.
Because no one's buying gas, or the price of a barrel of oil has like plummeted. Like all stocks are plummeting, which is something else I would do. And if in a couple months, I'd start buying stock,
What kind of
because
stuff?
it's all going to rebound at some point.
Like just completely. Well.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
everything is plummeting. Like the amount of losses that we've had in the last week and a half surpasses the biggest loss in the Depression.
Really, I did not know that.
I think so. Yeah, I think I read that somewhere. And if we haven't gotten to that point yet, we will.
So basically, buy now, die later.
Sure. I mean, well, you got to die at some point, right? I mean, you're not going to live forever.
Says you. As Riker said, I plan to live forever.
Speak for yourself.
It is true. I mean, he was a free thinker, that one.
So, speaking of Riker, have you been watching Picard?
I just watched the episode where he and or Picard shows up at his house, essentially.
Okay.
Which was actually
So you're a couple episodes behind.
Yeah, I still have. I'm on. That was episode 7, I think.
Okay.
What? Apparently, I'm watching another one tonight.
Okay.
Who knew? Happy birthday to me. but yeah, so he had just shown up to to whatever. I've forgotten the planet's name. What was the planet called?
I don't know. It's that
Cup
planet with the
Cup
moons.
Kidder. It was Cup Kidder. Um, I have no idea. But yeah, no, he basically is rocking out to whatever the hell he's doing there.
Right.
I guess it is that spoilers. He and Troy went there because they were trying to save somebody's life. I think.
Yes.
And then
Yes, that was entirely it.
so they he shows up basically saying, "Hey, how's it going? Life is good. Um, hope life is good." I guess I don't know what do you say?
Yeah.
Life's pretty good, huh? Yeah, life's good. Yeah, okay, cool. Um, so he
Oh, I
shows.
just got the Tal Shiar chasing after me, but other than that, everything's great.
It's fine. Yeah, no, it's good. So he basically shows up, messes with their life, and then they.
Hey, Shane,
Mhm.
before we go any further, just while it's on my mind, your mic is not muted, right?
Yes, no, I did check. I did check that.
Okay. Okay, good.
I like the comment that I got in the chat the other day, which was, "Yeah, by the way, Shane, you can't hear him at all, and that pisses us off. Pisses us off less. So thank you for that.
Who was that your friend?
Not anymore. But yeah, but essentially it was an error on my part. Uh,
Right.
so yeah.
All right.
But anyway, yes. So he shows up, says sup to what's her face and to what's his face, and says, "Hey, I'm in trouble," and they're like, "You're totally in trouble," and he's like, "I'm the guy in trouble," and yeah, I'm assuming you have been watching, of course.
Yes. And I watched last night's episode, uh, which was
How
good.
was it?
It was very good. Um, I don't know what I can say about it without giving anything away.
That's a good point. Um, so I give it a thumbs up on the whole show so far. It's already coming back for a second series, um, in whenever the heck, whatever that thing is called.
Which okay, and I gotta say something. I don't like that they've announced that.
Really? How
I'm
come?
okay with it coming back for another season, but they're kind of in this series right now. They are leading us up to believe that there's some finality that is happening here. But knowing that there's a second season already slated,
And it's
that's kind of
which we also know has Guinan and somebody else just joined, reasonably famous that I can't think of what their name was. Doesn't matter. But anyway,
is it Danny Glover?
Rory Calhoun. Uh,
Okay, now speaking of Danny Glover, so we're kind of talking about Star Trek Next Generation, which was an '80s show. So there's this '80s movie series called Lethal Weapon. You and I, we watched those, and I've recently discovered and it's on Netflix, but I think it started on network TV. That there's actually a TV series, a new TV series.
I
Uh,
actually knew that. Yes.
yeah, and it's actually really good. Like,
Really?
yeah. So it stars Damon Wayans as Roger Murtaugh, and I don't know, some other guy as Riggs, Martin Riggs.
Right.
And but I mean, the way they portray the characters, spot on. Especially the guy playing Martin Riggs. I mean, he's not Australian. They say he's Texan. Uh, but oh my God, the mannerisms, everything, the way he talks and delivers his lines, it's yeah, it just it makes me think like I'm watching the 80s movie series.
Weird. That's kind of cool.
Or is it early 90s?
Hey, Google, how are you? He says, waiting for his phone to go off, which he's realized is not here. Lethal Weapon TV series came out then. 1987.
But the movies.
7.
Really?
Lethal Weapon came out in 87. Lethal Weapon 2 in 89. Lethal Weapon 3 in 92. Lethal Weapon 4 in 1998. Lethal Weapon 5.
There was a 5?
Oh my God. Richard Donner is directing. Confirmed in January 2020 that Mel Gibson and Danny Glover were coming back to the series. Richard Donner directing. The title would be Lethal Finale.
Oh, sweet. I think it'd be in a retirement home. I mean, wasn't Murtaugh like a day from retirement in 1987?
In
Like
every single series. That is so true.
I mean, it was only over 30 years ago, but whatever.
I'm back. I'm a day for
I'm getting too old for this.
It's pretty
Got
much
his
his
walker.
entire shtick for the whole thing. That's kind of funny, actually. What a weird thing to have, like, for a series wise. But
so that's interesting. So they're going to be doing a movie while a reboot series is on TV.
yeah, I
wonder if it's going to have Joe Pesci in it.
I doubt it. I mean, could you imagine? Story takes place in the present day, setting the characters of Riggs and Murdoch in the mid 70s to late 60s. And intended to be a final film in the series, I would think. Could you imagine? Lethal Weapon 6. Deathbed. I told you I was too old for this shit. And then he gets up and like he pulls a gun out and he's like, let's get him. And then of course the TV series, which 3 seasons apparently got canceled. Oh, did it get canceled?
Oh, it did. Okay, that's too bad.
Let's see. Renewed for a 13 episode 3rd season. That was in 2018 though.
Oh, okay.
I guess that starred Sean William Scott. Is that Stifler or whatever the character's name was?
Oh, is that who that was?
Is that Stifler? Yeah, it is Stifler.
I made no connection on that.
But I guess it's not coming back. It looks like. Oh wait. For the 3rd season, Crawford was replaced by Sean William Scott. Who's Crawford? Oh, I guess he was playing Riggs. Oh.
Who's playing Riggs? Like in the first season?
A guy named Clayne Crawford. And he got fired from the show.
He got fired.
In May 2018, amidst reports of bad behavior and incidents of his hostility between cast and crew on the show's set, Crawford was fired by Warner Brothers.
Huh. They got tired of his antics.
Who is?
We got tired of your antics, Crawford.
So Jordana Brewster was in it as Doctor something or other. She is the female lead in the Fast and the Furious movies. She's the one who.
That's yes, okay.
Yeah.
That's where I've known her from.
Yeah, so she was in. I tried to drink beer and I missed.
Well, it's just Miller. I mean,
But yeah, no, she's the love interest for the actor who died, whose name escapes me at the moment, from that movie series.
yeah.
But now all these movies, speaking of films and things like that, all of these films are being pushed back, and I suspect we're going to start seeing um, different TV programs being treated the same way.
Probably. Now, I have heard that there are some movie studios, films that are already in the can that were scheduled for release, instead maybe released as sort of like a direct to Netflix type of thing or some other streaming medium.
That would not surprise me.
Because I mean they gotta make their money for this year, right? And that may be the best way to do that.
Yeah. I mean, how else could they? I mean, there's just no way.
I kind of wonder, are movie theaters going to survive this? If this goes on 6 months,
Yeah.
like I think it's going to. I mean, this is good. First of all, I mean, if it's 6 months, this is going to be a long summer of us being cooped up inside.
Now, I will point out that drive-in movie theaters are still running because people are in their vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a thing. There's only one drive-in theater in the Lower Mainland, and it's way out in Langley, which I've been to a couple times. But
I don't think there's any on the island anymore.
I can't think of a single one on Vancouver Island at all.
The last one I could remember was in Cassidy,
Yeah.
and I think it closed a long time ago.
Well, let's see. Drive-in theater. Let's see. The drive-in theater. Do a search on Vancouver Island. The winner is. Wow. Nothing. Just the one in Langley.
Yeah.
That is messed up.
And the thing is, if you could do the drive-in theater and everybody's in their own car, and that's great. But then people want to go to the bathroom or they want to go get snacks at the snack bar or something like that. And that's where it starts breaking down at that point.
Yeah, that's true. But at the end of the day, what else can you do? Not a whole lot.
Nothing.
I mean,
Sit around in your house.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Sitting around the pool all day, chasing the muff around.
Now
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I gotta watch that movie.
It has been a while. Dazed and Confused. I was just listening to the soundtrack yesterday because I wanted to hear that cut of Sweet Emotion.
Oh yeah,
that long sort of opening at the beginning there. That made me
yeah,
happy.
yeah.
God, I want to watch that now. Oh. All right, that's it. I'm setting up the movie. I'm going to start streaming it right now. Everyone's going to watch with us.
I'll watch it with you. We appear to have plenty of time.
Well quoted. But overall, I think that I'm trying to think of a film that has a pandemic that's not about the pandemic.
Oh.
Like, just the pandemic is happening around the activity of the people in the film, of the actors.
Right.
Not the actors, of the things. But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting.
I don't think there is. If you, yeah, Oh, maybe like Shaun of the Dead
At the very beginning of the film, I guess.
at
The
the
first
beginning.
third
Yeah.
or so, the first act, maybe. Yeah. Because I'm trying to remember exactly when they realize what is going on, but I can't think of anything. No, can't think of anything.
No. It was a good movie. I only watched it once, though. I mean,
That song's in my head now. Matthew McConaughey.
it's the end of the world as we know it. Well,
Well,
my beer is empty.
yeah, I want to. I'm tired.
Okay.
But of course, we will be back on Wednesday, which is this coming week, and Locke might be back. He's expressed
Nice.
interest, so yeah.
At this time, Shane will have his mic unmuted.
Yes, I will have a microphone live. Not that that'll. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. But yes, everything will be awesome.
It will.
All right. Well, thanks for
And
hanging
we're
out,
going to
man.
get through this.
We'll
All
get
right.
through this. Life will not end, and
That's
we
right.
will survive. Everything is
All
going
right.
to be okay.
Yes.
How do you
All right.
how do you turn this thing off?
I don't.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.